Hello and welcome to the new Qlik Sense dashboard tutorial. And in this tutorial, I want to show you a new dashboard. Just I think 2 days back or a day back, I showed you another Qlik Sense dashboard example. And in this today's dashboard, I want to show you one business example of a business dashboard for tracking your sales. So things like what is your sales, profit, and an interesting part which I'm going to show you in this dashboard is creating a calculated field that will going to help you do the comparison with the current month versus previous month. So with that example, then you can basically enable it for any other dimension that you want, right? Also, many formatting tips in terms of showing your default chart, or converting your default chart into something which is more impactful for your business by removing all the clutter and keeping only the information in the middle for your consumers. So with that, let's go ahead and see this dashboard. Alright, so here is the dashboard that we will going to create. This is a sales overview dashboard monthly. Again, this is a formatting that I have done so that the title is coming properly. In a default settings, the title comes with a very dimmed sort of a font color. So I have done the background change and the front end, which I'll show you that you can utilize in your dashboard. Then you know about the KPIs, the development of each of the KPI and making sure the title is coming properly. As you can see, it is pretty clean and formatted layout like 15.6%, right? And then we have some filters over here, which is at the highest level where we can filter like what is our central region, east region, south region, right? Those type of things we can do it, and everything will going to change. And the consumer segment, the customer segment, like whether it is a corporate customer or it is a home office customer or it is a consumer, a general consumer, then what is it? Based on this selection, what we are showing is the current year versus previous year calculation, which is 2020 versus 2021, right? And then down below also, this is a monthly comparison for the current month versus previous month sales, just to indicate for each of the day when the sales was high, when the sales is high for the current month and when the sales is high for the previous month. So clearly looks like previous month were having a lot of high value sales as compared to the current month sales. Then coming over here is the sales product category, just at a high level overview of how your sales is distributed. Looks like pretty much unique or pretty much consistent with all the different segment. Maybe that is your strategy, or maybe your strategy is that you want to focus more on technology, because in technology product you have more margins, right? So something which basically shows where we are standing today as an overall company when we look at our product categories. Then down below, current month top 15 customers, so this is only for the current month information, and who is our top customers that we are viewing this over here. So how we can create this entire dashboard which will help our users to get an entire overview. Also, this can be something like for your regional users you are creating, or let's say for your head of department, or like by product segment, the customer segment. So maybe the team who looks at the customer segments, you want to create it for them. So based on that, you can provide them the filters accordingly, and it will start showing the information. Okay. So for that, let's go ahead, and what I'll do is I will start with the QlikSense Cloud, QlikSense Cloud login. Okay, so this is what my Qlik is, and this is where I believe it will going to take me to QlikSense. If you are not a QlikSense user, then it will ask, or if you are already not logged in, it will ask you to log in, and if you are not there, it will ask you to sign up, which I showed you in the previous video. Okay, so I don't need this. This is where I created this sales overview and couple of other apps. So what I'll do is I will create new analytics app, and in this what I'll do is I will call it sales business overview. Okay, and I will click on create. As soon as I click on create, it will going to open up the app, and that is where I can do my work. And this is where I have the data catalog and file and other sources, data load editor. So I'll click on file and other sources, and it will take me to a location where I can select a file, drop a file, or click to select a file. So where do I have? I have this superstore, for which I will already give you the link. I'll give you the link which is present in the description, and you need to go to the Qlik Sense folder, and there the spreadsheet is present where all the links I have put it. Just so that because I will be using a lot of different data sets in coming days, so all the data set at one single location so that you can easily find it. Alright, so what do I need? In this I need an orders table. So what this order table is having, the orders that were placed by the customers, their location, for which customer category, for product category, product subcategory, name, a lot of information, right? Okay, something I clicked it incorrectly. I need to go it again, and here I will choose my file, which will be sample superstore, and I'll say replace because I already have it. That's why it is asking me. Okay, so now I will click on orders, and now I will just quickly look at my data, and everything looks okay. You have information that is properly there, and I will click on next, which will start loading it. It will take a couple of seconds to import entire data, and then we can go ahead and start playing around with our application. So we'll wait, I think, okay, 14 seconds for 3.3 MB file. Alright, so we have this where we can explore the data, which is an insight advisor, automatically generates. You can ask the question, like in a normal plain English, and it will generate the insight, or you can create new analytics. So I'll go to the new edit sheet, and I will start creating the analytics. So now what do I need is, initially if you remember, what I had was some of the KPIs. So I'll click on this KPI icon, which is present over here, and I click on add, and that is my first is my sales. Okay, so I have a sales. Now it is showing you the entire sales. Up to you. You want to show the latest year sales, then what I suggest is we keep the filter, which is here, add, and say year. So what Qlik Sense basically does is, it based on the dates that we have, if it is in a proper format, what it does is it creates these so many fields automatically, like year, quarter, month, year, month, year to date, quarter to date, month to date, all of that, right? So we can simply go ahead and say add a filter, and we can simply write year, and I can select the latest year, which is 2021, to reflect current year sale, and we can give it a label as well, CY, current year sales. So what it does is it creates the KPI over here. Okay, so that's our very easily we can create our KPI, right? And I can click on the new, and I'll click on KPI, which will give me the option to only add the measures. So I'll choose the profit, and I'll say sum of profit, right? So first thing first, I will change the label CY profit. Okay, and then we can add again a filter over here, which is for the current year. So I'll say year and 2021. That is my current year profit. Now I take a third KPI, select the KPI over here, add the measure, and I will say discount. In case of discount, we always take average of discount. Okay, so we have 0.16. So the only next thing we will do is CY discount, current year discount, and then we will choose the number formatting to number, and in the number we will choose the percentage, which will be 16%. Okay, and we will choose the filter over here, which will be the year filter. We'll select the year and select the latest year. That will give us the latest year discount, which is also 16%. Finally, we have the quantity, so we will choose the KPI over here, add a measure, and say quantity, and select the sum of quantity. We will call it what, quantity over here, or CY, quantity, current year, QUA, and TI. Okay, perfect. Then we will add a filter just so that it is the current year. So I'll choose the 2021. And then what I can do is I can select this one. I need to add a filter, so I'll choose from these three ellipses. I will choose this filter, which will ask me to add a dimension, and I remember that it was the region filter. So I'll select the region, So then I will have a region filter. Again, I will choose not this region for sure. So what I'll do is I'll come over here, remove this. I'll have to remove this field itself, and I will add region. I think this was the one. Come on. Yes, this is the one. And then I'll add one more here. Again, from these three ellipses, I will choose the filter and I will add it the segment, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, consumer. This is the customer segment, which is whether it is a consumer. So you can keep on adding as many filters as you want, or at the top layer, if you want to give filters, you can give the filter, then the filter down below you can add item and add all the KPIs, right? That also example I will show you in my future videos, planning to post some more videos. So make sure you subscribe and you get all the notification from my channel. Okay, perfect. So what after this, what do we have? If you see, this much we have created. Now we have to create this current year versus previous year sales, right? So we will going to, so what do we have is basically an option. First thing first is I need to click on this plus icon, and then we will simply select this chart, which we know that we need to have a bars, and this is the measure. So bars is something we need to have the year. So dimension is bar dimension. First thing first, what we have is subcategory is the dimension, right? And then what do we have is the sales, sum of sales. Okay, so what it gives us is a chart like this, right? And then we have one more thing we need to do is we need to add the year as a filter, which will basically going to create this impact for multiple years, right? So this is a group dimension. It becomes a group dimension. It comes the bar dimension. And then over here in the year, we will select the year and select the last 2 years, which will give us a comparison for the current year versus the last year, right? So once we have done that, we can change the label for the title, CY current year versus previous year subcategory sales. Okay, so this is what it is, and we will keep it light. Okay, and then we will change all of this over here. I think on the x-axis, auto axis, no, this is fine. I think this is something which I can then change it. I don't know if double clicking will going to help in any way, but label will also not help. So I'll show you from where you can remove all of these things, and even this thing down below, which does not make a whole lot of sense in this case, right? So we have this, and after that what I can do is I need to create one more. So I'll maybe up until here. What we will do is we will simply say add dimension. So but the chart is donut chart, right? And our dimension is at the dimension. Dimension is the segment, category, not the segment, category, and our measure is the sales. So we'll say the sales. So what do we get? This, right? And we will make sure that it is for current year so that it is matching up with our information here. So we will say year, and we will keep it 2021. Okay. Now, once we have this, what we can do is we have created this chart showing this distribution. We will click plus icon over here, and that's where we will create a line chart. So our line chart, if you see the app, which will say that you need to have these days down below, and then you need to have the latest 2-month comparison, right? So we'll try and see if we can create that. So I have already chosen this, and I will say, let me just say whether I have day so I don't have anything related to day, but I have date. So let me try and choose the date. Okay, and then let me try and choose the sales. Okay, sum of sales. So it shows you all the different dates, right? What we can do is we need the current and previous month, right? So what we can do, we can first say year, latest year, and then for the latest year we need the month information. So month, we will choose it December and November, right? So what it shows, it basically shows entire information in a continuation, right? How the trend is, not like what we saw over here as a continuation. So this is where we need to basically do a little bit of work in terms of creating a category. And this is something for which we will go into the data manager. In the data manager, we find this table, and down below we can edit our table. So we can click over here in editing the table, and there we will going to create a new calculated field, and we will call it days, and it will use the simple day function, and in that I can simply say order date, right, and close it. So what it gives me is these dates from 1 to 31, right? And then I just have to click on create. Okay. So now the days are present here based on whatever that date is, it gives me that particular day. Okay, so once we have done that, I will click on load data, which will going to create or bring that this category or the new calculated field that we have created. It will bring it inside the model so that we can go ahead and use it. Close, and I'll come on to this sheet. So my sheet is over here. All right. So now for this, I have this order date, right? So what I can do is I need to remove, and we can start using our newly created field. So here we will going to remove this, and I will bring the days. I will add the dimension, which is nothing but days. So we have days, and I will add the month as well. So now you can see the impact is coming. The only thing which I will do is I will change it into an area chart so that it is coming properly. So earlier it was continuation, but by making this change, it is giving you the overlapping sort of a scenario to do the comparison. Like here the sales was in the month of November, the sales is less, but in December the sales is high, right? So that is something, a comparative analysis we can do once we are done. We are able to do this setting. Okay. Then we have the customer final chart. What we have is, if I just select this, what I have is the customer name. So what I can do, I can select this table, add the dimension, which is customer name, and add measure, which is sales, and add it. Okay, so we have sales. Let's change the label to sales. Okay, now we have this, and this one we will change. Sorry, I'll select. So this one is selected. Label title will be top 15 customers, maybe. Okay, top 15 customer, and this is where I will keep it here. This one, my label or the title will be the current month versus previous month sales trend comparison, and I will also keep it light. This one I will keep the labels, very important. Keep the labels as what? Customer segment, sales by customer segment, and let's keep it till here. Okay, so we have this, everything is properly there. It's just that we need to do a little bit of settings, which I showed you, that these chart, how we can do that, and then same thing you can apply it over there. Okay, so to do that, what do we need is advanced options. Okay, so in the advanced options, once we go inside that, what do we have is this chart, right? And in this chart, first thing first, all of these sum of sales and this particular one. So let's try to remove that. So we have, you can see in appearance, we have this label and title, right? So if we say none, both are gone, right? Now only thing is we can enable the labels, let's say labels only. Okay, in the labels, then these label and this grid is coming, so I will just say none, because we can still get these labels. Okay, and tooltip is fine, and on this y-axis, sorry, on this x-axis, so we have options like label and title, and we will say labels only, and down below orientation is fine, bottom number of access value is auto, and which is perfect. Okay, so we have this color and legend is also fine, show legend title is okay, and I'll say present, but position I want to keep it at top. The show legend position, it will start coming in after I'll just make some adjustment. And this is where we have the in the presentation we have the styling like this. Scroll bar, what do we want, mini bar or none? Will just say none. Okay, so it's removed, right? And then you have value labels, I will just enable that. That way we don't need the y-axis and the values are coming over here, right? So that's how we start getting the details. Okay, and then we have the general, I will just say title, subtitle. We have show disclaimer, which I believe is this. So if I hide this, nope, nothing, which I think it is different. Maybe in the front end layer it will not show. We have the details, show details, which is also show allow user to choose the view details such as description measures. Okay, so it will show that detail to end user, like what that measure is, from where it is coming, and stuff like that. Now I'll come to the data, and in the data what do we have is perfectly fine. I think nothing that I want to change, but I'll again come back to the appearance, and over here we have all of this. What I needed was to remove these grid lines, so I'll come over here in presentation again one more time. Grid line spacing, no, nothing like that, which is useful. I remember I trying to think where I did that. Label orientation. Okay, so I checked, it is in appearance, and in appearance you can come to this grid line spacing, uncheck that, and from medium you can check to no lines, which I feel like, you know, something really weird for a beginners. I have used it couple of times, and you can just think about it how easily you can forget, right? So not really sure, but hopefully the layout or the interface will become more user friendly in coming. So that's how we can select, and we can come wherever we want, and we can remove the grid line spacing, choose it to no lines, and that way I don't really like the lines, to be honest, and that's why I want to have a very clean and straightforward interface so that user can simply go in and interact with this dashboard. Okay, now the only last thing which I will do is I will grid this up, because you can see that it is unnecessary taking a lot of space. So what I can do is I can grid move this up, right? Same way with this, it is unnecessary taking a space, and that way I can move this up, or maybe I will drag this up, right? Drag this up. Okay, top 15 customer, this is what we also need to configure. So we will go into the data, we have the customer name, we have to come to the limitation, and we have to show the top 15, top 15, top 5, whatever we want, right? We don't want others, so let's just uncheck others. We also don't want to include the total, so sales, text alignment is fine, total function is also okay. Appearance, in appearance we need totals, we don't need totals, right? So this is gone, so that way we can just simply get the top customers, and we don't want that. All right, with that I think we are not there. We need the new sheet, right? So this is my title, which is new sheet. We will call it sales overview dashboard. What I just simply did is I double clicked over here. If you are wondering how it is coming, right? You can have this expression as well, where you can write the expression. This is where the description is, right? And over here, nothing much that I can do, right? We have alternate sheet responsive, small screen layout, nothing much. Actions also nothing. Action, you can add action, but I'm not covering it over here. So what do we need? We need to basically come over here in the sales business overview, right? And here we have the settings. In the setting, I can change the background color for the sheet styling. So what I'll choose, maybe like this. No, not this. I guess what I choose, this one, right? Yeah, this is looking better. And if I need some gradient, so I'll come over here and choose a gradient. So that way it becomes gradient, right? And then there is this font color. I can choose the white color, and this is where it is giving me the white color. So that's a quick setting. I wanted to make sure that you are aware, and you then come up and you have the sales business overview dashboard, with which you can go ahead and start interacting and playing around with that. And I'll come out of the edit sheet. And this is finally how your very easy interface, useful for the business. What is our current year information? Absolutely clear, tight labels, right? That only the current year versus previous year, current month versus previous month. Current, we can write it CY sales. This is where we can write it, and this is also we can set it current year, current month top customer, or current year top customer, whatever we like, by putting it into a filter. So that's what you need to create a dashboard like this with all the formatting and calculated field. I hope you enjoy this session. Let me know if you have any feedback about this session in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll meet you in the next video.